As the computer warns of the imminent landing, the dead planet begins to zoom into sight. Gravity returns, albeit lighter than either of our escapees remember, if their memories are to be trusted. Cherry, I think we should put these suits on I found, just in case there's a breach during landing. The computer said there was no air on the surface. Good idea. Wait, do you remember such procedures? Dang, I seem to. CreatureX hands her one of the suits. You know, rats, I sort of do remember that. With the suits on, the crew straps down again. The fear is still visible in their blue and green eyes. They hold tightly to the armrests. The computer warns. Low standard combustion fuel. The Type 1 warp drive has not been properly fueled. I will be sending a report. Gee, thanks, Cherry pipes in. You're welcome. Crash probability is 25%. Hey peeps, thanks for peeping. As you know, we're starting session 3 of CreatureX and I guess Cherry1's adventures. Their escape from the mothership which has exploded. They're headed for a dead planet, and there's a probability of a crash. But they have their spacesuits on, so maybe that'll help them. But before we go any further, I was wanting to flesh out Cherry1 a little bit more. Since she's an NPC, I want to give her traits opposite the way I want to play. So make her more, her own thing. So we're going to use WanderHome, which is a game I love. And it's a diceless system. But as you see here, the way this is laid out, there's about 48 choices. So we're going to roll a D100 twice to get 2 different traits. Now if it's over 50, we're just minus 50. And if it ends up being 49, then I've decided to make that witchy. And if it ends up being 50, I've decided to make that empathic. That adds a sort of a psionic air to it, Remember, we was going to give that trait to Cherry1 anyway, within the Tiny Frontier game. But anyway, what we need to do first is go ahead and roll that to see what we're dealing with here. So we'll roll a D100. Oh, wow. And that is 97. So we take 97, we subtract 50 from it, that's 47. Now, unfortunately, if I remember correctly, that's a traumatic trait. So 47 would put us nervous. Well, that kind of makes sense, because she does seem kind of nervous. If I remember correctly, when she first started, she was sort of fidgeting around trying to find something. So that's one of her traits, is going to be nervous. So let's roll her up another one. $62 minus 50 is 12. So let's go back to that chart. And 12 will put us at invisible? That's an interesting choice. That's under grounded traits. Let's see what invisible has to say. The invisible kith cannot be seen. They are often ghostly spirits, terrified ghosts, and tiny scuttling creatures, among others. I'm not sure how we're going to use that. Maybe that's an ability she has. Or maybe we're going to say that's if she's around a bunch of people, she can sort of back off into the background and do what they call mitting, where she can't be seen. Not that she's actually turning invisible, but that she can become to back away from people and they won't realize it. So those are interesting traits to give her. Okay, the other thing we wanted to talk about is the fact that there's all these, they have amnesia, so there's all these secrets we don't really know yet about them. So I'm going to use the Alone in the Dark icons to try to come up with that. But first, they've got to remember. And my idea is that whenever something traumatic happens, or something stressful, or something happy, it might remind them of something in their past and help them bring back their memories. So I think almost crashing or thinking they're going to crash into a planet might be stressful enough to activate one of those abilities. Now, I was just going to make it a standard test. In other words, 2d6. You get a 5 or a 6 on either one, then you get to remember something. And then we'll roll on those alone in the dark icons to see what triggers in their mind. But since Cherry just rolled that trait of nervous, I'm going to give her advantage on it. So she gets to roll 3d6 to unlock a memory. So they're sitting in their chairs, and it's just this great thrust and movement as they're coming down on that planet pretty fast, because probably the fuel's run out by now and it's just falling. So we're going to roll. Let me put them out there first. Then we're going to roll them. Here we go. Alright, Cherry did have one. But we're going to take them away, and we're going to check out and see if I'll put them out there first and then roll them. Both of them gets a memory. So that's cool. That's going to work good. So it's a 3d6 roll. Let me show them to you. So these little black and white icons, and you're going to roll a d666 roll. So in other words, you roll 3d6s. One's for the hundreds, one's for the tens, and one's for the ones. And unfortunately, I don't think they'll let me use it. That's right, they do let you do. I apologize. So we're going to do the first one. This is going to be our hundreds. We're not rolling it yet. We're just getting them out here. And then the next one, let's make it blue. And let's make the next one. Let's have a yeller. No, there's no yellers. We'll just make it white then. Alright, so we're going to make red the hundreds, 5 the tens, and that weird white color the ones. So 5, 1, 2. And I think they say to roll, so we're going to roll 1 this time. So I say 5, 1, 2? 5, 1, 2, I believe. Let's see what we got. 5, 1, 2. I don't know if you see 5, 1, 2 over there, but it's like a rock that's tripping. That's odd. Then this was Cherry we was doing first. Oh, okay. I've got something. As she's sitting there, she's remembering living underground in some kind of bunker. And all these people are running around, screaming, yelling, "We've got to get out. We've got to get out to the escape area. They're lifting us out of here." And she remembers yelling out, "Wait, wait," trying to get with them. But then all of a sudden, part of the ceiling collapses, and she couldn't quite make it to the rest of the group. So there's a good one. And let's see what... I remember, what was it? The red is the hundreds. Yeah. And the blue is the tens. And the weird white color is the ones. So now we're going to roll for CreatureX to see what he remembered. It's 1, 2, 3. Of course, it goes in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3. I think I'm looking at this wrong. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's like a fur of some kind. It's someone's skin. For some reason, CreatureX remembers being on a hunt, going through the jungles, the fear on him, wondering if he's going to survive this hunt. and he can see the great tiger hiding in the bushes. He's trying to motion to the other hunters that, hey, there he is. But his motions makes the tiger pounce on one of the party members. So it would seem that Cherry was in some kind of underground area that was being evacuated, and CreatureX was some kind of hunter in some kind of hunter-like society. Those are pretty interesting things. So as these memories come back to them, they come back out of them, and they realize the ship is shaking, and they can feel it's moving around, but the gravity's sort of shifting and changing on them. So now we're going to see, do they crash? Now remember, the computer said a 25% chance. So it's not really that bad, but it's possible. So we're going to roll this percentage dice. I've already put them out here. And if it's under 25, if it's 25 and below, then they crash. And we'll figure out from there what happens. Oh, so they did. They crashed. So we'll have to figure out that. But then there's one other thing. There was another ship that went ahead of them, right? So we're going to see if they crashed. Same percentage. They did too. So both crafts crash as they hit. So we're going to have to see how would they survive it. Maybe the hull, since it's an escape craft, maybe it's pretty sturdy, but it's probably going to be breached. So, and it's unusable. When it crashes, they'll have to repair it. So we're going to roll on. We can give each one of them a test. We give them a standard test to see if they take any damage. So let's start with. Just putting them out. Let's start with Cherry. See if she took any damage. Hope she's strapped in. It helped her. Ooh, she did take some damage. So we're going to say she took 1 point of damage. And then we're going to roll for Mr. CreatureX over there. And he took 1 point of damage. But they were still strapped in. I guess it was just a jerk and hit of it. But they took some damage. The ship has been hit. We'll roll for that as well. We'll roll for the ship. Did it get breached? No, it couldn't succeed. So the ship itself didn't succeed. So it's been breached. So it's been shattered, and the air is getting released. I guess it was a good thing they had suits. So here they are inside this ship. They've just hit. Let's see if they're unconscious, because you're hitting like that and taking that kind of damage. Would they have went unconscious? So I'm going to give each one of them a test on that. We're going to do Cherry's first. She is unconscious. Alright, what about CreatureX? So he's able to succeed. So he's not unconscious. So there he is, strapped in. He just took a big hit as it ran into the ground. And he looks over, and he can see that Cherry1 has been hurt. She's been knocked forward too. So now he's got to figure out, and he also sees that there's a hole in the ship, and he's got to figure out, what are we going to do? We're in this ship. There's a hole. We're on a dead planet. But we'll work on that next session. Thanks for watching. I know it's kind of short. I'm going to try to keep them around 15 minutes. I do a lot of adulting, so it's hard for me to find time to do this. But I'll try to at least do one a week. I'll probably do another one tomorrow about the Dungeon 23. But anyway, I do appreciate it for y'all watching. Thank you.